Third is transport. Now, for 4,000 years, we have been a crossroads. It's part of the secret of our success. We are a place where people and ideas come together and mix. It's why we have done well over the years. But moving around in this region is just too hard today. And this threatens one of our competitive advantages. Now, last week we took a big step forward for a new street, £128 million. But let me be clear about where I stand on next steps. I will do everything within my power to help Birmingham perfect its pitch. And all I challenge Birmingham to do is to pitch its best. And I'm delighted that the City, AWM, and the Department for Transport have agreed to meet me later today to make sure that we are all clear about just what perfect looks like. But you know, the truth is, we have to move now. We have to think beyond just one hub. Now is the time not just for a new street, but for a new story about the region's priorities. What transport do we need for the future? For the new homes and for the new jobs that we plan? For the new links to new markets that are opening up around the world? The government has pledged new regional funds, new laws, new authorities for transport, but I don't think we should wait for government to ask us what we want from that agenda. I think we need to say what we want first. So I'm asking the Regional Assembly, Advantage West Midlands, and the Government Office to develop a game plan that is going to involve you, a game plan that by Christmas lets us be completely clear about what the evidence shows we should pitch for. A regional transport priority list that each of us would be happy to have in our back pockets. That is what Ruth Kelly and Rosie Winterton tell me we don't yet have from this region, but which we need. So I am also asking Olwyn Dutton at the Assembly, Roger Phillips, Chair of the Regional Transport Partnership, and John Edwards of AWM, to work with partners here to ensure that the region has maximised the opportunity from the forthcoming transport bill. But by December, I want the region to be completely clear about where it is going, what it wants, in a way that ties in with the regional economic strategy and our plans for new homes and a better environment. Fourth, we have to trade more. For the last 30 years, we know that countries that trade faster grow faster, and the same can be true for regions. Now, the connections that we have to the new markets that are opening up for the West Midlands around the world are not just physical, they are people. Our diaspora communities in this region are one of our great strengths. They are bridgeheads to the great growth markets of the future. In 2020, India will be the world's 5th biggest economy. Our Indian community is 180,000 people strong. 1 in 6 of Britain's Indian community lives in the West Midlands. In 2020, the Chinese economy will be the 2nd biggest in the world. Here in the Midlands, our Chinese community is 16,000 strong. So to understand what we can do more to trade with these markets in the future, I will seek to visit India, China, and the US in the next 12 months. But to understand the true scale of what this region can and should achieve, I'm delighted that Lord Jones of Birmingham will join me after the summer to create an assessment of what more we need to do in the West Midlands to win in Britain's high potential markets. Finally, I want to just touch on a subject that has typically come up towards the end of the meetings that I've had with many of you in this room and with others. And it's about our reputation. Because people have said to me that our reputation outside the region, it just doesn't match our citizens' passion and pride in the places that they live in, and they want to see that change. And the truth is that the cultural, the sporting, the heritage assets that we have in this one British region would put a small European nation to shame. From Ironbridge Gorge in the northwest to Stratford's RSC in the south, the NIA, the Birmingham Royal Ballet, the CBSO, in Birmingham, the great cathedrals in Hereford and Lichfield, the Shropshire Hills, Alton Towers, the Royal Pump Rooms at Leamington Spa. I mean, idle boasting, it's not, in our nature, but we have a story to tell that I think just needs to be heard a little bit louder. So within the next year, the Olympic torch is going to pass from China to Britain. And I want those who care about this region's reputation to tell me how, in the next 4 years, we will change the way that others think of us so that our Olympic legacy is not just more visitors, more business, more jobs, more facilities for local teams, but a different image of our region in people's minds. And so I'm delighted that the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport has agreed to host a summit for those who want to help us get this started after the summer. I just want to finish, Philippa, with a family story, because all of us here this morning will have family myths and family stories about how we all came to be here and be in this room together. And I'm no different. Some of us will have families that have been here for centuries, and some of us will be, more newly arrived. And my roots date back to my great-grandfather, who was an ambitious engineer, and he lost his livelihood in the Russian Revolution, and he decided to cross the North Sea from Scandinavia just before the Battle of Jutland to start a furnace business down the road in Kings Norton next to Pilkington's. And he came because he heard that here in the West Midlands is where you could get things done. And he was right. I believe that this region is the cradle of British genius. That genius that turned ideas into action, that action that turned Britain into the world power that it is today. It is a striking story. It's the story of scientists like Priestley, the father of chemistry, and Charles Darwin, the story of Wedgwood, the pioneer of the first industrial revolution, the story of Telford, whose 250th anniversary we celebrate in 6 days' time, the story of Bolton and Watt, who famously said, "We sell what everyone in the world wants, which is power." The story of Frank Whittle, who did more for globalisation than almost any British citizen until Tim Berners-Lee, the father of the World Wide Web. But when I look at the changes ahead for this country, I always think that we should be more ambitious, not less. I think the same is true for the West Midlands. For 3 centuries, we've helped shape the modern world. In this century, we can be world beaters. We are right to be proud of our past, but it is more important now to talk about our confidence, our determination, and our faith in the future. Thanks very much indeed.